Are Bitcoin and altcoins about to get royally crushed? Where is the bottom looking for Bitcoin, and how much does that dictate how far altcoins are going to be going down? What coins am I buying, and what buy-in prices am I targeting? This is what you're going to be learning in today's video with me, the Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency. If you love content like this, make sure that you smash a like on this video and join 112,500 fantastic subscribers who want to become rich in cryptocurrency. I have been in cryptocurrency for over 5 years. I was in cryptocurrency all the way back in 2017 and 18. I have seen crashes of enormous magnitude in the past. If anybody is going to be your guide during this period, it's me, the Suppoman. So make sure you smash all notifications on at the same time. So let me just make sure that I'm live and everything's okay. It appears that I am, and you can hear me okay. So let me just share this over to the good people of Twitter who I've notified I'm about to go live to. Well, it has happened, people. It has happened. Bitcoin has finally gone under 20k, as I predicted it would. And many have said it would never happen, or if it did happen, it would literally wick down to about the 19s. But I have been very, very adamant in the last week in particular, last few weeks, but mainly in the last week, that the momentum is really, really aggressive for Bitcoin going down. And we can see it with this chart right here. This chart paints a full picture. Where Bitcoin was in 2017 was it hit 19,500 to 20,000, depending on which exchange's data you look at, and pretty definitively today Bitcoin has done for the first time something it has never ever done, which is having gone through a new halving event where the mining rewards get slashed by half and subsequently found a new all-time high. Bitcoin has never ever gone back below that previous all-time high, and today it has done that. And also, we have sunk through this 200 weekly moving average, which is something, again, that has happened rarely in the past. So it happened in a Black Swan event, and it happened literally for a split second. But we are in really new territory. This is fundamentally new territory for Bitcoin and for altcoins as a result. If we have a look, what we see today is Bitcoin has gone below its previous all-time high back in 2017. Ethereum has gone below its previous all-time high in 2018. And the global market cap has gone below its previous all-time high in 2018. So if we have a look here, on this date here, 835, yes, you can see it, $835 billion was the height of the global market cap in the first week of January 2018, which was when we had a very, very aggressive altcoin rally. This was the literal top in 2018. And it was 835.5 billion, and today we are at 833 billion. So 3 major milestones absolutely smashed, and at the same time, altcoins are getting rinsed. This is my bear hit list. This is the selection of cryptocurrencies that I am going to be aping into when my buy-in prices are achieved. Now, I have already started dollar cost averaging. So these are, so the 18th, when was that? That's today, actually. So I have still been buying. So I am buying incrementally. I'm buying over the dip. Now, I am expecting much lower figures, and I'm going to be taking you through those Bitcoin figures very, very shortly. However, I have been buying all the way along. Now, what I am doing, and let me just show you this tweet that I did. No, this tweet here. This is an indication of the dollar cost averaging that I am doing. You might not be able to see it properly here, but essentially, this is dollar cost averaging. Essentially, the bigger orders happen much lower prices, the smaller orders happen at the higher end. The reason why is because you never quite know when the bottom is going to be hit, okay? If you honestly think that cryptocurrency is easily predictable, then you're in the wrong game. You have to have a lot of experience, and you have to have an idea of the macro environment as well as the microcosm of the crypto environment in order to be able to read what is likely to happen. You can't do it purely on technicals, and you can't do it purely on news and sentiment. You have to essentially use intuition, which is getting a mixture of both and being able to put a figure on that momentum. So what you can see here is how I am looking to buy Ethereum. So this is my open orders on Binance. So as you can see here, $800, I have got only 3 Ethereum that I'm looking to buy at $800. At $600, 32 Ethereum. At $300, 288 Ethereum. I'm going to be doing the same for Solana, for Nia, for Elrond, for Mina, for Gala Games, for Moonbeam, and a few others. Those are my main buys. I am looking to accumulate real generational wealth. And although I want the prices to go down, I have been wanting for Bitcoin to go under 20k. I've been wanting for Ethereum to surge lower down, because as far as I am concerned, Bitcoin and Ethereum are exactly the same as they were in November. They're the same asset. The difference is everything going on around that asset. And the things going on around the asset messes with the illusion. The illusion is that certain assets are bearish. Even though the actual asset in its characteristics are the same, all the politics and the environment around it has changed. And that is what you take advantage of. As far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin should have hit over 100k in the last bull rally. So as far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin is that value today. However, what we have got is a value of 18,000. So this is a time when you buy these cryptocurrencies knowing in the long term they are incredibly strong. They haven't died despite many FUD situations, many narratives in the past. Ethereum and Bitcoin still remain the 2 top cryptocurrencies. Solana remains one of the great pretenders of being the next Ethereum. So you've just got to look at these cryptocurrencies with an element of illusion, okay? And at the present time, the illusion is this $18,000, and that is the time that you have got to start thinking about strategies. So how low is cryptocurrency going to go, and how low is Bitcoin going to go? Well, as I have said, we have essentially smashed through one of the big structures. The big structure is 20k. That is a huge structure. All right, now, before that, the big structure was 22, and that was the 200 weekly EMA, which everybody was like, it's going to bounce off, it, because it bounced off it before, it's bounced off it various times, although I've got it on OKCoin, so you can't really see it, but it's bounced off it pretty much every single time, and when it bounces off, it unlocks incredible gains. Bitcoin typically goes on either a local high or a new all-time high as a result of bouncing off that 200 EMA. So it has broken through that. The first structure it broke through, which was the hardest nut to crack, was 30k, which it tried numerous times over a year and didn't succeed, and now it has, and now we are potentially going down to new lows. Now, where the market structure sits is very weak between 20k and 10k. And the reason why is because Bitcoin has spent very little time within this territory. So if Bitcoin has spent very little time within this territory, it hasn't built up the support, and therefore it's very likely to just pound right through. So if you see, as I said weeks ago, if it broke through this structure, having gone through the 3-day death cross, which happened around about 3 weeks ago, having gone through the death cross, the likelihood is it was going to breach that key structure, which was 30k, which it did. All right, and that was the toughest nut to crack. 20k has been not as tough, but what we see is we've seen essentially a straight line. And the reason why is because Bitcoin has hardly ever spent any time within this territory, so it's just smashed right through. And Bitcoin has spent very little time in its history between these two lines as well. Like, for instance, in 2017, when Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, it essentially lined up. It, like, within the space of like a few days, it went from 10k to 20k. And also, when Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, spent very, very little time, literally a month or so in this period, which means it hasn't created the resilience. So as far as I'm concerned, there is a high degree of collapse of the price in this area. But it's not just the technical side of things, which is what we worry about. So the next support area really is about 12k. Now we can move it up slightly to where you get support areas is where you've got 3 points of contact. And for this, there's literally like 1 point of contact at 13.5. But other than that, we're really down in about 12k where we've got at least 3 points that have been hit in the past. So for instance, when Bitcoin went down from its all-time high in 2017, it retested the 12k area, it went down. We also had a little bit of a bull rally in 2019, tested about 12k, actually wicked up to 14k and then went back down. And so 12k has built up some support over the time. And also in 2020, I remember, because I sold some Bitcoin here, which was regretful, but Bitcoin, again, spent a little bit of time at 12k. So there is a strong likelihood that we are going to collapse to a much lower figure. Now, what is going to drive this? Okay, so if we have a look, Three Arrows Capital. So Three Arrows Capital is a big VC firm. If you've watched me for a while, you'll know all about crypto VCs. So strong cryptocurrencies, ones that have got fundamental strength, essentially a lot of the top 100. Particularly a lot of the top 30 cryptocurrencies have got high amounts of VC money. And typically it'll be like Coinbase, Binance Labs, Pantera, Fenbushi, GBIC, Polychain. Quite a few of these VCs get involved in the strongest cryptocurrencies because they are making a bet on the future. And they are hoping that they are essentially investing in the next Ethereum or the next Bitcoin. All right, so they make big bets. And Three Arrows Capital is well established in cryptocurrency. They not only are established as Three Arrows Capital, but they also had a DeFi arm called Defiance last year. And I know this because I invested in quite a few coins that Defiance did, which I'm slightly scared about right now. So anyway, so not only do they have this DeFi and metaverse play, but they have also got their traditional play through Three Arrows Capital. And essentially what we have got at the moment is we've got a situation where they're probably going to be selling off assets in order to stay afloat. That is likely to cause a liquidation cascade. A liquidation cascade is what has essentially happened so far. This is a cascade effect. It's a domino effect. It's a house of cards, essentially. Once one major piece gets blown away, then the structure falls. And that is essentially what typifies cryptocurrency right now, is essentially a structure, the falling of a big structure, the falling of a tower. All right, think of a great big tower housing a king. The tower is falling. All right, and Three Arrows Capital is one of the big stories behind this. There's also Celsius. There's also numerous crypto-specific narratives such as Coinbase and Binance and, of course, Luna. So anyway, what has caused this? So Three Arrows Capital have been very, very successful in the past with their investments. But what happened is that they actually used a lot of the money they made and invested in Luna when it was near the top. And then what happened is that Luna essentially turned their billions into hundreds. Okay, you listening to me? It has turned billions into hundreds. So if you're looking at my portfolio, which I showed you the other day, I showed you that I've essentially lost 4.5 million during the peak to at that present time, about a week ago. I'd lost 4.5 million. It's now quite a lot more. If you think that's bad, billions to hundreds is absolutely catastrophic. It's suicide inducing. If I'm honest with you, that is the crumbling of a multi-billion. It's not even worth thinking about. But the fact of the matter is that they now have to sell off assets, and they are looking for options. They're exploring options. They are exploring backups. They are looking to get bailed out or rescued by another firm. But in the meantime, they've got to liquidate their assets. And in doing so, this will lead to a potential falling of the price of Avalanche, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We've got Kusama, Mina, Nia. I've got those big stacks of stables waiting. So, I'm happy to have chosen these because there is potential for the arse to fall out of Mina and Nia. Solana is one I'm also looking to get a large chunk of. Again, re-chunk it, basically. I didn't invest enough at $1, right? So I am going to re-chunk that and get a huge amount of Solana for the next period. So, and they've also got all of these others. So if these look familiar to you, then these also look pretty bad. Altiverse, Axie Infinity, Drop, which people have mentioned in the past, Deribit, I mean that's kind of like DeFi. And then you've got quite a few. They've made bets in the Avalanche ecosystem, in the Solana ecosystem, in the Cardano ecosystem, in the Terra ecosystem. They've made quite a lot of bets. And it could have worked out had basically we not had this humongous shit show of dominoes falling, essentially. Dominoes. Like, one domino fell, it's taking out the whole lot. That's what happens. You just need that one big piece to fall. And I think the big piece was essentially the initial big unexpected fall from the top. So 70k to 30k. That was unexpected so early. People were expecting an elongated bull market. People were expecting 100k. People were thinking it could last a lot longer because there was a lag between the halving and the Bitcoin top that was happening through previous cycles. So it looked like, as a matter of logic, that we would have the same, a slightly longer cycle between halving to top. But what happened is it cut short, took everybody by surprise. If you feel stupid not selling at the top, then believe me, the shit show going on at VC level is far worse. Okay, so they are losing billions, and particularly in an environment like what we've got right now, they are just losing it by the bucket load. But we have not even, I don't even think, begun to realize the full extent of this. So 3 Arrows is more than likely going to be selling off a lot of these assets. We are likely to see also the demise of Celsius. So in order for Celsius to actually be truly liquidated and taken out of play, taken out as a player, at the moment they're still here. For it to be taken out of play, the liquidation price is 13.6. We are 5k away from that now. We are literally just 5k away from that. And what you've got to realize is that in cryptocurrency, it's a massive power game. Okay, it's political. Think about it. All right? Think about it. There's going to be a number of key players. It happens at a micro level compared to the world stage. So at a world stage, you will see governments, world leaders fighting against each other for supremacy, for some sort of world power and dominance. That's what you see at a kind of world and government level. But believe me when I say that similar power structure exists in cryptocurrency as well, where we have a Bitcoin rich list, we've got large wallet addresses. And with these large wallet addresses that have incredible amounts of billions, what can be done with that money? Particularly, and I'm not insinuating anything, because a lot of the people that have the biggest wallets are actually exchanges, is so much can be done with those wallet addresses to make the price swings to take key players out. And I think that what happened to Terra Luna was as a result of Terra pissing off the wrong people. The wrong people went after Terra Luna, whoever that may be. And it caused for it to go down. Same people probably going to be targeting Celsius next. Probably 3 Arrows. And then probably the next victim. Or all of this could be nearly over and we could be at a bottom. But let's think logically about it. It doesn't look like it. All right, thinking logically about it, it doesn't look like it. We're in unprecedented circumstances where now I think we ignore what the charts have told us before, what timescales have told us before, and now we are in a completely new territory where it's simply a case of, now we've got our support areas. It's literally a case now of just picking your poison and how much quantity, and then waiting, a game of patience. Now, I don't know, in my own personal opinion, how long this is likely to last. So I'm gonna take you through an example now. Actually, just before I do that, let me say hello to you guys, because I don't want to leave you guys in the dark. I most certainly want to chat with you. So let's see who we've got. We've got Hash, Brown, Dave C, Red for Danger, Powell, Saeed, Severns, Lindsay, Nils, Can a Startup, Duty Holiday, Danica, Lindsay Clark, Salvo, Mac Will, Glinbert, JC, Kevin Johnson, Let's Go Crypto. Hey again, Suppo, happy Father's Day. Yes, Father's Day tomorrow. And of course, I'll be celebrating that with my boy. Phil, hi from Liverpool. The fake out was real. It sure was. The scarf is back. Yeah, it's definitely a lot nicer in the UK today. Yesterday, I looked ill because I was suffering really badly from hay fever. I looked terrible. I have 17k free money to spend, have half a Bitcoin, 2 Ethereum already, and a 10-year horizon. I want to buy Sol and another half a Bitcoin. What do you think? Not financial advice. Yeah, fine. Whatever. I'm not giving any clues as to what you should get. You get what appeals to you. Okay, so what appeals to me is this hit list here. These are the cryptocurrencies that appeal to me personally. Now, I should add Solana, but it's almost too obvious. I should add Ethereum, but it's almost too obvious. You know, so I've left it to the less powerful altcoins that I am looking to buy. And these are my own personal opinion of cryptocurrencies that I want to have a lion's share in, because I think these have real, truly fantastic potential. So anyway, let me keep it back on the cryptocurrency price. But yeah, I mean, if you've got patience and you've got balls of steel, then essentially wait for lower prices. You know, this is a reason why, bear with me, throat's a little dry. This is a reason why I'm willing to wait for $300. Even though from this point on, from where we are right now, you know, Ethereum is just under 1,000. You know, it's well away from $300, but I've got balls of steel. I'm willing to wait and potentially miss out, but at the same time, I'm also fully aware of scam wicks. I'm fully aware of you know, liquidity shenanigans that happens on exchanges, and this could easily wick down to $300, and I want my buy order there to satisfy that, just in case that happens. But you've got to have real balls of steel, because those targets may not be met. If you've got patience, it can be. Think about it. We're 2 years away from the next halving. Look, the next halving is all the way over here. From the last halving, this is all we've had so far. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. Like, we're this low. We have literally hit the biggest height of Bitcoin ever, and now we are hitting the lowest low of Bitcoin ever, as far as from all-time high, and given the support areas that it shouldn't have breached. We have done all this in the first half of the halving period. So it leaves a big space of time for things to be happening. So therefore, you know, you could quite literally get the most incredible bargains. Are you buying Stratos? I'm not. No, I've got enough Stratos. I don't need any more. Altcoins decouple at the moment. Yeah, I've noticed that. So, you know, the prices that we have got right now reflect prices I've bought in very recently. So Mina. Actually, Mina may not be the best example. Let me just have a look. So Mina, I last bought today at 50. So that buy order filled at 57.4. And that was at a time that Bitcoin was at about 19.5. So Bitcoin now is at 18.5 and yet, or 18.4, and yet Mina is still 57. So it just goes to show that I wouldn't say it's decoupling. All I would say is that Bitcoin's really under attack. And it's probably one of the central assets being sold off, meaning that a lot of alts are managing to steer clear of that sell-off. But I do foresee that there's going to be a coupling again. But alts definitely seem to have in some way separated. By the way, people, if you haven't yet, and I know the feeling, because I sometimes watch YouTube videos, particularly live videos, and I forget to press the like button. So if you would be so kind, smash that like button. Smash it, let that thumb literally animate in front of you. It's a beautiful sight. And let's see if we can get to 300 likes. Let's see. We've got 500 people here. We can do it. And of course, I will be taking your questions too. What do you think about HBAR in the long term? I think that HBAR is a very, very good cryptocurrency that at this present time has not yet had its... Yeah, it's not really blown the roof off. But it will one day. I'm sure it will. Hello, sexy Suppoman. John's wife again. When are we going on that second day? I love it. Hex has already won. Won't go that far. Zushu deserves it. I wouldn't say anybody really does. Why does he deserve it? You are one of the people telling everybody to buy the dip, aren't you? Oh, you know what? Right, I get it, right? At this present time, there's salty people out there, but some people are just so stupid. I'm waiting for the real crash of 5k BTC. You never know. I'm going to be honest. You really never know. I don't think so, but you don't know. I didn't lose shy, exited last year. I'm very happy for you if you did, because that means that you've got an incredible amount of disposable income, and it's people who hopefully did sell at the top that's going to ultimately lead to more health coming back into cryptocurrency when the time is right. But there's way more. There's way more to come. Look, Coinbase refuses to rule out further job cuts. And, as far as recession is concerned, well, a reason why we get into a recession is because of overshooting on the interest rates. So essentially, interest rates can be increased so high that actually you create a recession by default. And a recession is essentially, let me just bring it back here. Defined as the US for 2 consecutive quarters of shrinking GDP, meaning fewer jobs and lower, recessions mean fewer jobs and lower wages. The people get most hurt in the US will be lower income Americans that are especially vulnerable because they tend to be the first fired when the economy slows. So, a world of shit coming, and really what has happened so far in cryptocurrency is not cryptocurrency specific. Let's have a look and see how the financial markets have done today, because I haven't actually looked at that. So, the Nasdaq is down slightly. The Dow Jones was down a lot, or was down a lot when it closed anyway. So, we have got, all markets sinking, but at the same time, Bitcoin, a lot of what is happening right now is happening as a result of crypto-specific politics and narratives, But this isn't even, and yes, there is an element of pricing in of the structure breaking of altcoins and cryptocurrency as a result of recession talks and a very, very likely recession. And very, very likely pain and suffering as a result, particularly economic salary kind of suffering taking place. But, but we have got quite a way to go for that. Now, I want to take you to some analysis done by Crypto Crew University. Now, he is a purist technical analyst. Okay, or analyst. He essentially doesn't care about narratives going on in the world. It's really what do the charts tell one. Okay, so what he did yesterday was he was saying that Bitcoin was probably at its bottom now. And I must admit, I looked at the video and it got me thinking. So look, back in 2015, when the 20 weekly moving average, crossed the 100 weekly moving average. When that happened, in 2015, a week later, was Bitcoin's bottom of the 2014 to 2016 crash, that big bear period. The bottom was found literally a week after it crossed, which was the week of the 5th of January, the week of the 12th of January, Bitcoin hit $168. Okay, so that was a signaling of the bottom. When the 20 went under the 100. The next time that happened was... Wait a minute. Yeah, the next time that happened was the 10th of December, 2018. And that was the same day. The 10th of December, 2018 was the same day of the lowest, which was 3,128 or thereabouts. So when that was the last bottoming period, the 3K bottoming, I think. Was there any more? No, there was no more. And then the last time it happened was today. It was not today, but it was, I think it's just happened essentially. So it's happened within the last week or so, week and a bit. So that has now crossed, and as we saw in the first instance, a week later the bottom was hit. And in the second instance, the same day or the same week, the bottom was hit. Now, we have hit this, and he did this video yesterday when Bitcoin was at 20,000, 20,500 at that point. So I was thinking, nah, he's wrong. That can't be right. But you never know. And Raoul Pal, who's a guy who Raoul Pal, who is a guy I actually listen to and I think really knows his shit. He says, in 18 months, the market conditions will be more favorable. Macro assets tend to discount 12 to 18 months out. So what he is essentially saying is that the biggest discount happens 18 months before favorable conditions. Essentially, it's likely to be favorable for the next halving. And so 12 to 18 months out is when we typically see the highest discount, and then it goes back up. So what Raoul Pal and what Crypto Crew University are saying is essentially the bottom is either near or here. And I only would agree with that if we break the structure very quickly. Right, now I'm an impatient person, so in my personal perspective, I'd be quite happy with Bitcoin going down as quickly as possible. Because there was an element of talk the other day that when Bitcoin rose after the Fed announcement of increasing the interest rate by 75 basis points, when it rose, there was an element of, we're not so fearful now because we essentially have seen the worst. Well, we're at the worst point, so at this point it should only get better. So increased interest rates, maybe avoid a recession, maybe control spending, and actually we are in a bottoming period now. But I don't see it. I see a recession as almost certain to happen, and as a result of that, us with a potential 6 months anyway, 6-month period where we could be seeing, looking at my Ethereum buy points, we could be seeing the $300 hit of Ethereum in a few months out. I think that we have got to throw away our erroneous previous preset beliefs of where the market should bottom and looking at previous figures and it dropped by 85% first time, 80% the second time, it should be 75% this time. We should bounce off the 200 weekly EMA. We should bounce off 20k. We should bounce off 19k. All of these have been predictions that many people have made that have been fundamentally wrong. We have gone below the previous all-time high of Bitcoin, which has never happened in the history of Bitcoin before. So we are in new territory. So as far as I'm concerned, it's literally a case of picking your poison, picking a price, and dollar cost averaging down to it, where you start very high, where you start high-ish, not necessarily prices now, or it depends on what you want and how big how high your risk tolerance is. But starting relatively high and then have huge buy orders, the lower it goes. Because it could happen quickly, it could wick down there, or it could happen slowly. We have at the moment, there's 638 people watching, which is amazing. Thank you very much. So there's 638 people watching now. It's probably amongst the most I've had watching live for a long time. And this is because people are talking right now and people are buying right now. Or gearing up to buy. Or at the very least planning to buy over this period. But then there will come a point where, there's almost a sense of nothing's moving, or it's gone down quite a lot, but people are bored. The fear isn't necessarily there, and that could be where the bottom comes. It could be unexpected. So as far as I'm concerned, really pick the cryptocurrencies you want, select the prices you want. So initially on May the 11th, which was now a month and a bit ago, which was roughly the time when Terra Luna, when that whole empire fell, I put this selection of DCA ranges together, which is that I wanted to buy near between $3 and $4, Mina between 45 and 60 cents, Glimmer between 60 and 70 cents, and Moon River between $5 and $10. And if we look today, essentially we have got, near right at the bottom of that, we have got Mina midway, we've got Moonbeam at the bottom, 60 cents. At the time I did this, Glimmer was $1. It might have been $1.30 or so at that time. So to see a over 50% decrease in the price at that time must have seemed very unlikely. But it's happened, and it's happened in a month. So next month, who knows what we could be seeing. And then Mover, well, we are at the upper end of that. So Moon River, $10.39. So as a result of that, I changed it because the downwards momentum was so much more aggressive than I thought it would be. And I thought that where we are now, we would probably get to in about 3 to 5 months' time. I didn't expect it to happen within or at a month. So as a result of that, I've adjusted the prices down so that they are pretty much, if I'm honest with you, either 50 to 75% lower than even then. So yeah, as you can see, I'm quite aggressive, but I think as long as you kind of get them at least in the middle, and if you actually satisfy these buy prices, then brilliant. But all I can say is that if we have a look, we are literally in a very unsafe zone where there's been little volume in the past, little structure built. Think about what happens at every price level is essentially you've almost got builders building a little, I don't know, building some levels, some floors that contain a ceiling and a floorboards, whatever. And when the price hits that floorboard, it's got to really erode it before it goes through. But a lot of these price levels, there is no floorboards here. There's a big floorboard. Here's a big floorboard. Here was a big floorboard. Here's a big floorboard. Here, I imagine, is a concrete floorboard. And there's hardly anything that gets in the way here, right? It's kind of building as it happens. But if you're building as it's happening, it's like having a flood and you're trying to build during a flood. You can't. You haven't. It's not dry. You haven't got the time for everything to set, and then it just kind of washes it away. And that is what's happening in this period here. So the foundations, the floors, the architecture hasn't been set. So as a result of that, it's very easy for the price to just go and fall through it. And when you've got a target like Celsius, where their liquidation price is literally, we're just 5k away from it, the likelihood is that we're probably going to see it. We're probably going to take these guys out. They're going to be the second big casualty out. 3 hours are probably going to be the third. Who knows what's going to be... If Coinbase got... I don't think Coinbase will. But of course, Coinbase have been laying off people. They may lay off more people. They're currently under investigation for activity surrounding stable coins, I think. You never know what could happen. You never know how big the next victim could be. And so we could just literally have diarrhea right? It's not a shit show anymore. It's literal diarrhea. So, anyway, yeah. So, it's quite a dire situation. Right, let's take some more questions, see what you guys have got to say. Justin Drum, feels like we're in free fall. It definitely does. Kurd Cobain, hanging on your lips, Suppo. Adash from India, good to see you. What's up, Suppo? All good, GP? Does the recent crypto crash prove that the extended cycles theory is invalidated? Yeah, I think so, yeah. You never know. It's a very, very volatile market, a very irrational market, if I'm honest with you. You never quite know what could happen. Now, if I was the SEC, would I be approving a spot Bitcoin ETF in an environment like this? Like, if you get really into the thick of conspiracy theorizing, you could think that a lot of this is happening as a result of the SEC. You don't know. Because Grayscale got a top-notch lawyer to try and put through a spot Bitcoin ETF, which means that there's a higher chance than ever of getting a Bitcoin spot ETF. Having said that, if the SEC can prove that the environment is way too risky to expose people with lots of money to a volatile and dangerous high-risk environment, then they could again be able to disapprove a spot ETF. And therefore, that ETF is the narrative that just keeps going and going and going until maybe the next halving. Who knows? But, yeah, I mean, you never know. The market works in mysterious ways, but there's always a method to it. This doesn't happen accidentally. What's happening here, this isn't accidental. This is happening due to market manipulation. This is happening because it's designed to happen. And we don't know at our level. All we can do is use our experience. Hence why I like to come online and I like to impart why I feel certain things are happening ahead of time, so that you're not caught out. So I brought up the 3-day death cross on Bitcoin. I brought up the 3-day death cross on Ethereum. Both have played out. Both have crushed them. I obviously spoken about the macro picture. Before I spoke about the macro picture, nobody was talking about the macro picture. Now everybody's an economist. You watch crypto YouTube, everybody's a bloody economist now. It's funny, it makes me laugh. But yeah, so if you've got actual experience, then you are best at making decisions and coming up with an action plan. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I love a bull market. A bull market is where you make easy money. A bull market makes people money. A bear market makes people richer than their wilder imagination. All right, so if you want to make money, bull market, buy in a bull market at any point in a bull market, as long as it's not near the end. Make 2, 5, 10x. To get out, it's easy money. All right, where you show your real skill is in a bear market, and being able to read what's going to happen and being able to buy at various points so that when everything resumes, you make a hell of a lot of profit. As far as I'm concerned, Ethereum is a $65,000 cryptocurrency one day. It's got 20k to hit, but over the course of maybe 2 cycles, it could hit 65k one day. And so buying it at $300, so let's just do the mathematics on that. 216x. So if one puts, if one puts 100,000 into Ethereum, if that price should actually hit, hold on, let me do that here. Oh, 216. Well, you get the basic point. 21 million. Same for Solana. Okay, so let's just say that based on the momentum we're going down right now, Solana was to go down to $10. Okay, if we're applying Ethereum logic to it, then let's say, yeah, about $10. $8 to $10. So let's say that Solana, which hit an all-time high of nearly 300, 300 divided by 8. Just to hit its all-time high would be a 37x. In order to hit where I think Solana's going, which would be probably around about 2,500 and probably the end of the next cycle, 312x. So what you're looking ideally is to dollar cost average and get the buy price to as low as possible, so that if you're buying small amounts at the like right now, and then you're buying bigger amounts as the price tumbles, then you bring your buy price right down and you unlock fantastic multipliers down the line. Okay, it's slightly warm now, so I'm going to take my scarf off, as beautiful as it is. So let me go back to the chat and see what you guys have to say. But that is why I'm looking for the bear market prices. That is why I am chasing down prices like this, and whilst at the same time, and also I should probably add Elrond in there for, let's say, $17. That would be incredible. That would be a scalp. If let's just have a quick look and see where Elrond would be if that was... So it's 45. Divided by 17. 2.6. So let's just get this. I think Elrond is a potential powerhouse. Is it guaranteed? No. But let's have a look. So this would be a market cap of 380 million, which would be utterly insane if one could get that kind of price. So anyway, yes. So anyway, let me answer some more questions. I understand that the Bitcoin halving means that the rate of transactions processed halves every 4 years. No. So what happens, Harry, is that the reward that goes to miners every time a block is produced halves. So at the moment, every block that's produces 6.25 Bitcoins. Once the next halving happens, it'll be 3.125 every block. So that means less Bitcoins being put into circulation. So if you have a look, I'll spend very little time on this, but if you have a look at where Bitcoin is, what the fuck is this? We have a look and see where Bitcoin is today. It's at look, so out of the 21 million supply that's out there, already we have got like 90% out there. We've already got 19 million out of the 21 million. But the other 2 million is not going to be essentially released until for another 120 years. So considering in 13 years, 90% has come out, and the rest of the 10% will come out over the course of the next 120 years, that shows you how the scarcity increases each halving. And of course, after 4 years, there'll be another halving and then another halving. The inflation rate will halve and halve and halve each time. So as opposed to fiat, which fiat is a very corrupt system where essentially governments can print money at will and do what they want with that money, hence screwing over the little man, Bitcoin is the solution to that. Hay fever has been bad this year. Yeah, I had really terrible hay fever as well, James. Hoping Solana goes $10. Me too. I hope it goes a little bit less than that, maybe $5. Sammy Turnpike, Super, how come you never mention my name? I still don't see it. There's lots of chat, so if there is, then forgive me. We've got 700 people. If we could just quite literally, just as a bit of a check, I'll unlike. So if you could just smash that like, I would be very happy. Let's see if we can get to 400 likes. I haven't had 400 likes in a stream since God knows when. So that would make me insanely happy. BCH is the best investment. Okay. I'm scaling into Glimmer at 50 cents. We're nearly there. BNB to hurt more? Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly. Yeah, everything will hurt more. Everything will hurt more. Lots of political shenanigans, I think, are happening at this level. We would obviously never know that. But it is, in my opinion, that is what's happening. And, yeah, BNB, I think, could go down to... Yeah, can go down to under 100. Could go down to 80, maybe. How's new car? New car's incredible. So, yeah, new car's incredible. Thank you very much for asking. Absolutely love it. Is it too early to DCA? You have to take the decision upon yourself. As far as I'm concerned, yes. I think there's a world of pain to come. I've already shown you how Crypto Crew University essentially has said the bottom should be coming in anytime now. A lot of people have said the bottom should be about 20k, yada, yada, yada. As far as I'm concerned, and also Raoul Pal has said, if I can find this tweet, Raoul Pal has said that the biggest discount in assets should be 12 to 18 months before the more favourable conditions. But this is quite pie in the sky because you never quite know, is it going to be 18 months? It could be 5 years that we're in a mess. You know, recession-wise, it could take a long time to recover out of this period. And so you never quite know when 18 months is. But I would say the momentum and the players that have to be killed at this point and the potential liquidation cascade that comes as a result of that is the reason that's driving down price and why I expect the momentum on price to continue. And as we have been during this stream even, we're on 18.2. We've already gone down $300. Are you buying there? I have bought some there, yeah. As you would have probably seen on my filled orders on Binance, I have bought some there. But it's nowhere near where I want it to be. I want near to be about $1, $1.50. Do you see alts have 40% more to go down? Yep. BAT on the hit list? No. Couldn't care less about BAT. What do you think about ETH though? No idea what that is. Oh, wow. It's just unlocked a load more chat. BT to 6k, I agree with that. Well, I think that what would have to happen in order for Bitcoin to go to 6k, which there is rationale. Like, for instance, Michael Saylor will be margin called. I mean, he'll have to... Yeah, his Bitcoin bet will essentially go bust as of 4k or 3.8k or something like that. So if somebody really wanted to do damage to Michael Saylor and was well connected to some big addresses, and God knows, you know, if a big wallet all of a sudden that people thought was a lost Bitcoin wallet all of a sudden came alive, then you never know what could happen. Like, so much can happen. But do I think it's likely? I don't really think so. Oh, and of course, the other thing I didn't talk about was Elon Musk. So Elon Musk sued for $258 million. So I just see so many more of these negative narratives coming along. And of course, everybody knows Elon Musk. So therefore, everybody who maybe owned crypto and fell asleep for the last 6 months woke up when they saw this and started to sell off some assets, maybe sell off some Dogecoin. You never know. You don't know what's coming next. Elon could say, I mean, he probably won't, given what's going on here. But then again, can anybody really stop Elon from expressing his thoughts? So Elon could say anything at this point. He could say, you know, I'm buying another 10 billion worth of Bitcoin or something like that to put on Tesla's balance sheet. Yeah, you could have any kind of big news event. You could have a country adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. I mean, think about it. El Salvador, had you, be honest, had you personally ever said El Salvador before they adopted Bitcoin as legal tender? I didn't even know it existed. Never heard of it, right? And now all of a sudden they're put on the map. The president is like a king, essentially. He's a rock star because he made that decision. He basically stands out. He cements El Salvador's position in history as a result of that. So, you know, so there's some real glamour to adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. And of course, given the prices now, certainly a lot better than when El Salvador got it. So, you know, a potential buy-in at a low price could end up making somebody incredibly famous and a real winner. So you just never know what's going to happen, but it's exciting, really exciting. Will the ETH merge happen on August the 1st? Will 90% of the total supply be cut off? I don't know about that. ADA be $5. ETH be 8k in my opinion. Yeah, I think ADA will be more than $5 one day, and ETH will easily be over 8k. Like, if it wasn't for the bear market, should there have been no... So, for instance, a lot of this has been caused by the Dixie rally. A lot of it has been caused because of this asset since last year, particularly at this point, when it kind of had a golden cross, just shot up, and everything priced in the dollar got rinsed. If that not happened, had there just been a consistent normal flow, if it was just growing, normal rate going up and down like it was, then Bitcoin likely would have had a bull market. Bitcoin likely would have had, or continued its bull market. Bitcoin likely would have hit 100k. ETH would have hit maybe 12k. Because the most violence happens in the last 20% of the run. So yeah, Bitcoin would have had maybe 100 to 200k. Ethereum would have been maybe 12k. Cardano would have been probably $12. Solana would have been maybe $2,000. But we'll never know now. We'll never know. But, in the long term, in multiple cycles later, as long as you're in something that's got fundamental strength, which a lot of the coins that I have covered seem to, then you're on to a winner. No guarantees, obviously. Ethereum $200, Sol $10, Cardano 2 cents. If Cardano gets down to 2 cents, I probably would buy more. If Ethereum got down to $200, oh shit. Super, any updates on Super Oracles? I don't know yet. As far as I'm concerned, Super Oracles is going to be coming out in July. And I don't know if they will now, depending on how the market is reacting. How much do you bench? I haven't benched in yonks. I've been following you since from Levon. Levon. I've been following you since 2017. You've taught me crypto with Udemy. I hope to link with you in London. You never know. Don't forget about Cadena. Are you crazy? Yeah, so Cadena, I haven't yet bought that yet because Cadena just doesn't want to bloody fall. Somebody in my group earlier was saying, Cadena's falling. And I looked and it wasn't falling. Right, so Cadena... I've got a buy order at Cadena for $1.30. That would be my first buy order. And yeah, we're nowhere near that yet. But yeah, Cadena, I'm waiting for that one. I'd like to own some of that. Do I think it's that fundamentally strong? No. If I was to say what are my major buys? So what are the cryptocurrencies that I want to have a huge huge stake in? It would be Nia, Elrond, well, Ethereum and Solana, but I'll never ever be a whale in those things, right? I'll always be a relative squid, I guess. But as far as cryptos that I would like to have big stakes in, it would be Nia, Moonbeam, Elrond, and bear with me. Let me just have a look. Yeah, it would be Ethereum, Elrond, Nia, and Moonbeam. They'd be my big ones. And then my second tier would be Cadena, Gala, and Mina. And then after that would probably be Decentraland. Yeah, that would be my order as to what do I want. Like what am I looking to be my big positions? Super Thumb thoughts? None. I don't really like it. Any thoughts about Sugar Kingdom? No, couldn't care less about anything right now that's a play to earn game. Couldn't give a shit about it. I'm not investing in any new projects at all now. All that stuff's gone. So what do you think about Pocket Network? It looks okay, actually. Am I interested in it? No, but it does actually look okay. Super, if you have really bad hay fever, you should try tapping your back. Really? Tapping your back? Never heard of it. I'll try that next time. Suppoman, 12k is realistic for you in 1 month? It looks like it. The momentum we're going, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit it in 1 month. I would not be surprised. But, don't rule out the fact that there could be some rally days. There could be days where, because because it's gotten so bearish, there could be just days that fuck with the market. Like look at last week with the announcement of the Fed rates, right? Like we thought the market was going to just be ditched, and actually what happened was the opposite, and the market rallied. So don't rule out any weird, irrational bits of market action, because derivatives platforms, exchanges, they can make things happen, right? They can make things happen. And similarly, the power 1% can make things happen if they want it to. So, and of course, because there's so much bearishness, it would not be surprising if there was a relief. And because there's talking of bottoming at the moment, people will maybe panic and FOMO and buy in, and they'll just get wrecked. So I wouldn't discount the fact there's probably going to be some mini recoveries, but I think on the whole we're going to go down. Suppo, are you looking forward to Richard Hart's documentary coming out alongside Pulse Chain? Yeah, actually. I'd be quite interested in that. Like, on Netflix recently, we had some crap. Hold on, let me get a chart so you can actually see the price as we're talking. Yeah, if you watch on Netflix, there was some Crypto King or something, the fall of the crypto, some shit about Quadriga. Like, who cared about that? No one. It was like the dumbest narrative they could have covered on a Netflix show. So yeah, I'd be quite happy with Richard Hart's documentary. I'd be quite happy to see that. Hello, Super. What's your opinion on Quant? Quant's okay. It's all right. It's quite strong. Actually, let me have a look and see where Quant is, because I can't. I think last time I looked at Quant, it was like over $100 or something, and I remember covering Quant when it was like $4. So let me have a look and see where Quant is now. Huh? God, it's still really high, isn't it? And it's currently 1/10 of its market cap. The volume's 1/10, so it shows it's healthy-ish. Do I care for it? No. Can give a rat's ass about it. But cryptocurrency is very subjective. This is why I don't like it when people are like, Super, what shall I buy? What shall I buy? I don't want you to buy what I buy necessarily, unless you believe in it. I buy what I like. I buy the fundamental. I buy into the fundamentals. I buy into the vision. I buy into the team. I buy into the VCs. I buy into all the fundamental qualities that you may not necessarily share my opinion on. So don't buy it, because that means that you're going to be like, Suppo, this coin's gone down, it's gone down, why has it gone down? Oh, stupid bollocks. No way. I don't know. Go back to geography class. Don't know what you're on about. If BTC hits 10k soon, what will it do if we have a big recession next year? I don't know. Could bounce. You just don't know what's going to happen. I think there's only so much it can drop. I do think that. I don't think that it's unlimited. I don't think, we're going to just fall down forever and then we'll get to 3k again. I mean, Jesus, if that happens, God, I'd be selling a kidney or something. I don't think I have any more fiat left at that point. But I do think these structures will come into play fundamentally, eventually. Hi, Suppoman. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Yousefi. Do you think TRX and USDD next to go down? Yeah, maybe. Justin Sun more than likely has a massive target on his back, so it wouldn't surprise me. Why would the guy bench? He's handsome and rich. Oh, Said, thank you very much. It's very, very sweet. DCA to optimism. Good one. Yeah, I haven't got optimism in there, have I? Yeah, I have got it on my bear market hit list. And as you can see, I did get optimism at 53 cents. It's now a lot lower than that, but I'm going to wait till it gets into the maybe late 20s before I go back into that again. And I think right now, it's in the mid 40s. Yeah, so... Yes. I think optimism could get decimated to micro cap. That would be the ideal situation. Because when I got into Matic, that was a micro cap. And I think that people feel a lot happier in a cryptocurrency if they get into it really early stage, rather than getting into it when it's already a mid cap or a low cap. So optimism is going down to being a micro cap. But at the same time, you've also got to buy it low because they're going to have a 30% inflation for the first year. Now, after that, it will drop significantly, but that's not the point. That 30% inflation is essentially going to put a third of circulating supplies into optimism, and it's going to turn it. It's going to basically 5x it. It's going to 5x it without the price actually moving. You know, it's just going to be the market cap will move because the supply has moved, and it will dilute it. So the lower you can get into optimism, the better, and probably even waiting until they've had their first tranche of supply added. More questions, people. Come on. Any thoughts on Futureverse NFT? Nope. Don't know it. Never heard of it. Many of these cryptos will not recover and come back. Yeah, I agree with that. And I actually, you know what's actually really funny about that comment, right? Is that the cryptocurrency market has 19,000 active cryptos. So this, I think, is not including inactive, dead chains, dead projects, not even working anymore. I think CoinMarketCap are pretty good at seeing what chains are actually, you know, what blocks and things are still operating for the project. So there's 19,000 cryptocurrencies, and yet we have equaled the market cap, the global market cap of the cryptocurrency market in 2017 with 20x more projects. That just shows you how ridiculous the market is right now and how much of a culling is needed. Because there have been so many dumb Binance Smart Chain meme coins, Binance Smart Chain shit coins. Because Binance Smart Chain is like the Android of the crypto world, right? So Ethereum is a bit more like Apple, like a bit higher quality. And it's not so easy to trade. It's not cheap to trade. And so it gets less of the dross. Whereas, and this is why I think that Shiba did well versus a lot of these shit dog coins that came out on Binance Smart Chain, is because Binance Smart Chain cryptocurrencies are so easy to make and mint. These projects, you need hardly any startup capital. And yet they've exploded to millions of dollars in value, and it's not right. So I think it's very telling the fact we have equaled the market cap of 2018, the beginning of 2018, when there were 1,500 cryptocurrencies. We've equaled that considering we've got 19,000. So it just goes to show there was so much shit and that needs to die. They need to die off, and we need to be left with the cream, essentially. And that is what I believe my selection is anyway. But of course, you know, if you're good at fundamental analysis, then you will also pick good ones as well. What will be the criteria for which L1s will emerge stronger with this crash? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say there's a criteria as such, but what I would say is that the more the grander the vision and the better the value proposition, the better it should do over time. So why Solana, I think, did really well in 2021 is because of Binance Smart Chain, actually. So Binance Smart Chain essentially took block finality, block transaction times, and cost of transactions right down to the minimum. And it was EVM compatible. And so it opened up this criteria of, let's try and find one that's probably got a better consensus algorithm, higher quality, good backers, etc. Solana. That hit. And now what I think we're looking at, because we're now in the age of ultra-fast blockchains anyway. You know, we're in Cadena, 480k, Elrond, 160k, you know, Solana, 70k, Velas, 70k. You know, we're in an era of fast transaction blockchains, so you want something a little bit more than that now. And so Elrond, why I particularly like Elrond, is because it is a store of value as well as technologically adept. So Elrond it's a sharded proof of stake cryptocurrency. So it's green, fantastic scalability because of the sharded chains. They can put transaction throughput on mainnet 16,000, which is pretty high, pretty excellent, which is excellent considering there's no downtime. So it's reliable. It's a reliable 16,000, not an unreliable 70,000 or whatever. I mean, Solana really typically does 5,000 a second anyway, so you don't need the full 70. So Elrond has got that technological aptitude. It's building up an ecosystem, which is done very recently with the Maya exchange, with the Maya app, which is a DeFi app, and you can buy cryptos on there, essentially acting as a decentralized exchange. So it's growing as an ecosystem, and as I said, the proof of the store of value argument is what I think is going to allow it to appreciate in value so much. And that is a reason why after my video the other day, or during my video, should I say the other day, that Elrond actually smashed it. It actually went to 55, so it was $44 during the video and $54 after. And I think a big reason for that is because of its circulating supply. So its circulating supply is 22 million, its max supply is 31 million. There's going to be less than 10 million tokens put out over the next 10 years. So that means that once those 10 million are out, there's never going to be any more inflation. And also, given that a lot of mining rewards are tied to the transactions and the transaction cost, we may not actually ever hit that max supply of Elrond. So it means that it's got really good appreciative potential. So that's why I want to get it really under $17, because that means you're on a potential future Bitcoin there. Like why I don't really like, I think what the argument is and what I really want to get to the bottom of is how decentralized is Elrond. Because that is what's going to lead to, I think, overall, a fairness to the system. I think that what Bitcoin has, that many cryptocurrencies do not have, is decentralization. Most cryptocurrencies are centralized. They're governed by a team, governed by the head of that team's decisions, and they're not truly decentralized. And I think this is a good this is why I like Shiba Inu, because I think the founder has essentially tried to separate himself from Shiba Inu, and therefore allow it to be more of a decentralized ecosystem over the course of time. Chainlink not in your tier 1 list? No, it's not. Which is actually odd, isn't it? Because the reason why I haven't put Chainlink is because I already own Chainlink. And if you took my course in 2020, which is like the top cryptocurrency opportunity, at that time Chainlink was $3. And I bought Chainlink at $1.55. So I'm not sure Chainlink will ever get to that price again. But Chainlink is actually strong. Chainlink is very strong. And what I actually like about Chainlink is the fact that they're aggressive as well. They have a good business mind. They're not meek. They don't say to a project, oh yeah, go and use the graph. Go and use, what's their names? Band. Go and use DOS or DIA or all these other oracles. No, they're like, you work with us or we don't work with you. Like, if you work with us, you sign an exclusivity agreement. And I love that. Do you like Velas Network? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's strong? No. But I think it's got potential. Solana is more centralized than anything else. Yeah, but there's a trade-off. Okay, there's a trade-off in terms of hype. And Solana, let's face it, is probably the most hyped cryptocurrency since Ethereum. I'm sure I got a super chat that I may not have answered. Oh, yeah, sorry. Badri Bala. What about Binance Coin and ICP? Yeah, they're strong as well. I think Binance Coin is tied, obviously, to Binance Exchange and Binance Smart Chain and PancakeSwap. So, and it's the gas currency. So as far as I'm concerned, Binance was very strong. ICP also could be strong. Make sure I didn't miss out any other super chats? Because I realise I have done that recently, and I've looked back on my stream and I'm like, shit, I missed it. Hey Suppo, can you check out? Nah, I'll do that on my phone. But I wouldn't bother coming to me if you want me to look at some shitcoin. Because at the moment, I'm only concentrating on elite coins. And I don't like going to external websites that I couldn't go to via CoinMarketCap. So Paradox Meta, Play to Earn Game. That's pretty good, actually. I mean, the graphics are good, but I don't really care for that. I don't care for it. Unreal Engine. Apparently it's got, some of the brands that our team members have worked with throughout their career: Alexander McQueen, Warner Brothers, Vogue, Sony, Star Wars, Harry Potter. Yeah, I mean, that tends to be a load of bullshit, to be honest. That tends to be like, what's the word? Glorified work experience. Like, in my past, I've worked with Lego. I've worked with a number of UK brands like GSK and Coca-Cola, all these. Does that mean that I should... Yeah, and if I put that on a website, people are like, oh, wow, he's worked with Coca-Cola. Yeah, so what? You know, it's not that big a deal. A lot of people glorify it. I think that's bullshit. I don't care for it. But what I will say is that what I am noticing at the moment is that a lot of the play to earn games are tied to complicated. I mean, a lot of the play to earn cryptocurrencies are tied to complicated games. Ones that try to be so grand in graphics and scale that you know they're never going to build it. They're creating a fancy sales pitch, essentially. It's like, oh wow, look at these graphics. That's gotta be good when it comes out. No, bullshit. Create something simple. Create a endless platform game. Create a 2D game. Create one that you just have to tap the bloody screen. Do something simple that keeps people coming back. You know, a lot of what I don't see in cryptocurrency is simplistic games like from the 8-bit, 16-bit era, from the app era, where it's just simplistic. You know, I think that a lot of cryptocurrency founders try and make something too good, too complicated, and actually they all like kind of look like each other in the end. Bro, what happened to IPX? Same thing that happened to every cryptocurrency. It's got smashed. And if you're a micro cryptocurrency, you're going to get smashed worse than, you know, low, mid, or large caps. Please look at ALF0. I've looked at ALF0. ALF0, whichever. There's quite a few layer ones in the... There's quite a few layer ones now. And this one gets dwindling volume. It probably could do well. I mean, now the price has gone down to 60 cents. But what was the LF0 IDO price? Crypto rank tends to be the best with these. 10 cents. So at the moment, it's stupid to get into that. It's new. They've done nothing. And yet, they're worth 43 million. I think that's a disparity. Do you think the bear market can recover before the end of the year? I do think it can, yeah. I think that the quicker we go down, the bigger the time scale to recover. And although I don't necessarily... Like, if we go down to quite a... Let's see what the price actually is of Bitcoin at this present time. If we plummet to quite a seismic depth, then the likelihood is that we probably can bottom before the end of the year. And even if we have a recession, it may just elongate the bearishness and elongate the amount of time that we can get rock bottom prices. But I don't necessarily think that if the market has priced in a lot of the catastrophe, then there's not much more room to the downside. But I do think that we are moving at an incredible rate of loss at the moment, and a lot of damage is being created. But I'm not going to complain, because this is exactly where I wanted it to be. I want to hit my buy prices. I want to guarantee them. I want them set in stone. So given that Bitcoin has now gone down to 18.2, let's have a look and see where Ethereum is. 940. It's tanking. It's going. It's having an effect. Let's have a look and see how this actually translates to other coins. Not huge, actually. That's very surprising. You'd think that Bitcoin's big drop today I think we've just got to allow for... Oh, and the market cap's gone down to 817. Unbelievable. It's beautiful, but it's unbelievable at the same time. How long have I been on for? 1 hour 20. I don't want to be on too much longer, so if you have any more questions, then get them in. Get them in. Get them in. And also, God, we're so close to 500 likes. So if I could ask you one more time, can we get to 500 likes? Can we get a superhero like Spike to 500 likes? Go on. Come on. We can get there. Smash it. Smash it. One more time. I would be massively appreciative. Let's have a look and see the bear market hit list and see... Wow, Saito's hardly gone down. Neither Stratos, and they're micros. Moonbeam is now in the 50... Oh! I think one of my buy orders has now hit. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Panto Basketball. Oh, yeah. But I do think that there's... It might not have hit. I might cancel it. No, I think I'll let it hit. I like to just pick it up. It's bringing my average price down. Are your coin portfolio public? No, it's not. Like, if you're asking about the one that I got losses on. Oh, guys, 500 likes. Mwah, I love you. You are all magnificent people. Moonriver over Moonbeam. Moonriver has more favourable tokenomics. Way more favourable, if I'm honest with you. Look, they're halfway there towards their max supply. It's got better tokenomics. You know, however, what I've heard about Moonriver is that it's got is like Moonbeam. It's got an uncapped and unlimited supply, so it'll just keep on going on forever. Just the difference is that it's had a lot of its vesting periods completed, so therefore it shouldn't be heavily diluted over time. But I think it's still subject to 5% inflation, just like Moonbeam. It just hasn't got the vesting periods unlocks. That's the difference. But technologically, you know, Moonriver is like a testnet. I mean, it is strong. I admit it is strong. It's got 637,000 wallets. It's got a ton of dApps. It's got DeFi and NFT platform. There's lots going on Moonriver. And of course, it's got the scalability benefits, the cost per transaction benefits. Bear with me. There's somebody that's spamming XRP shite. Just hide. Alright, that shouldn't be happening anymore. Anyway, yeah, so Moonriver has got benefits, but it is still the testnet. In essence, it's like the experimental Bitcoin blockchain, so that Moonbeam can be better. You know, it's kind of taking the brunt just in case Moonbeam, so Moonbeam doesn't have to. Right? They test it out on Moonriver first, and it's built on Kusama, whereas Moonbeam is built on Polkadot, so it's infinitely better. It's reflected in the rankings. Polkadot, although I said it was overrated the other day, is a top 12, and Kusama is number 74. So Polkadot is quite clearly the leader, and so therefore Moonbeam is quite clearly the leader. The leader, follow the leader. Duh, duh. Have you seen about Scrooge JR? No, never heard of it. How high can Glimmer go next bull Suppo? Depends on how low it goes in the bear. You know? There's an element of relativity. And what would need to happen is almost the exact same series of events and the grandness of those events to be replicated in the bull market. You'd need to have a mirroring of the circumstances that dragged cryptos right down to the minimum happen that makes them spike right up. So, you know, I personally foresee a future target price of $100. It reached $40. It's got 5% inflation per year on as far as new tokens are concerned. So I think that over coming cycles, it's not going to be so much circulating supply that it's going to ruin the potential cost per token. So yeah, but you never know. You never fully know. But I do think it's incredibly strong. Sell ETH now to buy lower? Yeah, but I mean, I think that, not financial advice, obviously, but I think that, the time has kind of passed. Like, the later you sell, the more risky. So, for instance, I sold all 380 BNB on last Sunday night, the night I brought you the video about, I believe that there's going to be a crash very soon. I sold it that night, and if I'm honest with you, that was probably the one night of all nights ever that I would have put a short position, probably 100x leverage, because I was that confident that the price would go down from there with no real upside for a while. So yeah, I did it then, and that was still 50% down on where it was. But now, or in fact, probably 70% down on where it was. But would I do it now? Maybe. Sometimes I kind of wait for a relief rally before I consider selling. This crash has not even started yet. There is that potential. There really is that potential. 18-1 now. See, we have gone from 20 to 18. That's 2k in 12 hours. Since we went under 20k 12 hours ago, we're now 18. So it just shows you a real massive lack of support and structure. Hey Suppo, do you or have you had any interest in Kronos? Yeah, I do a bit. Crypto.com maybe not as much, because Crypto.com, I mean, if I'm honest with you, is it still Crypto.com or is it Kronos now? Oh, it's Kronos now. Yeah, so Kronos was near $1. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is the main payment platform in crypto right now. It's the most famous. It's everywhere. Formula 1, boxing probably, football. Crypto.com's everywhere now. And it's probably got the best domain name in cryptocurrency. So as a result of that, yeah, I think it's strong. I think Kronos has added more to the whole ecosystem. It's not just a payment network now. I remember it back when it was Monaco. Now it's become Kronos. Now it's also Crypto.com. Yeah, they're developing its own ecosystem. What has led to it bleeding out recently is the fact that the CEO, Chris, basically took all the staking rewards away from the card. Or the cashback awards, and a lot of the rewards were stripped away from Crypto.com, and that basically murdered Crypto.com. But I do think that it's a very, very early ecosystem. It'll probably have its own launchpad, have an ecosystem being grown on it. The difference is, the thing is that Kronos to me, I think, is too overvalued as an ecosystem. It's 2.5 million when you consider that Near Protocol is cheaper but better. Like, as far as ecosystem qualities are as far as technology qualities are concerned. So I think that Kronos is slightly overvalued at the moment, and that I think needs to change. Okay. Let me see if there's any more questions, because I think a couple more came in. I mean, super chats. What do you think about Castor? I don't know. I think it could do well over time. Payments is a good ecosystem. It's also a complicated one. But I know that Castor they've got an app coming out soon. So but right now, I mean, it never really truly did well. So I'm hoping it can 50 to 100x, but it won't anytime soon. BTC dominance is 40. Let's have a look. It's 42%. Might go up. If it does go up, yeah, I think if it does. Let me have a look at this page. Yeah. So basically, it's not, I wouldn't say decoupling. I would just say there's a bit of an mini altcoin season happening right now, but that could be decimated shortly. I mean, it's not much of one. It's 29. Like, it's still a Bitcoin season at 25, so only 4 points above that. But yeah, I'm hopeful that there will be a reflection in the alt prices crashing soon. Right, I think that's it. Lowered, worried about liquidity. Very disappointing. Staking rules are lowered. Very worried about liquidity. Your thoughts, Suppo? It's, you know, it's up to you to decide whether you kind of take a temporary hit on it and buy it back lower, maybe. I think Crypto.com is overvalued for what it is. I do think it's magnificent. I think their advertising is spot on. Their marketing's amazing. They're very aggressive with it. And they bought the rights to the Miami Grand Prix. They're insane. But I think it is slightly overvalued. The ecosystem's overvalued. So, I don't know. It's up to you to come out of it, see how it reacts. But, yeah. Super's Conf dead. They are dead for now, yeah. They are not going to come out for a while. Like, they're DeFi. And DeFi is a single narrative. And the only thing that really will do well in the short term are multi-narrative projects, and that's layer ones. I just realised, looking at myself, I look worried. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Suppo, do you think OHM will lose their system? Don't know. I've never looked into OHM. All I can say is that I think that well, what I can say, actually, and this is another narrative that's kind of very new. I don't know what OHM is related to, but what I can tell you is that Magic Internet Money, or MIM, which was the currency you needed to get into Wonderland Time, is showing a depegging. So MIM was a stable coin, and there's insolvency narratives going on around it. So that could happen to OHM, but I've never really looked into it. What do you think about Veracity? It's okay. Again, it's a singular narrative DApp. I like ecosystems. Veracity, XCAD, all kind of the same thing. Look at XCAD. Fucking hell, that has absolutely tanked. Look at this. So, not all time. Let's go 7 days. So this was $4.64. And it's now gone to $2. But Veracity, XCAD, same kind of thing. DApps are never that brilliant. Wow. Look at that. Let's have a look at market cap for this and all time. I'm pretty sure it was... Yeah, this was once nearly 400 million, and now it's 22 million, so that is like a 20x down. It's because it's singular narrative, you know. Singular narratives are never quite as strong. Right, okay, ooh yeah, right. Yeah, okay, so essentially, as we have discussed, what we've got is a situation where Bitcoin has actually got a very, very poor quality structure at this present time. You know, where the price sits right now, there's very few floors for it to have to penetrate through, meaning that it could be a free fall. We could have a bottoming much sooner than we think. And at the same time, it can be quite cataclysmic at the same time. What I can say is that the things that are fueling it, particularly right now, is the fact that Three Arrows are without doubt going to be selling some of their key assets, and some of their key assets involve the key blockchains, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Avalanche, Polkadot, Solana, and the apps within it. And then we, of course, have got Celsius. And I personally think someone's going to try and take these guys out before they can hatch an alternative plan, potentially. And as a result of that, we could see a much lower price very soon. I think that probably the most popularized bottom target is 12k. And I foresee if we hit that soon, that could be as close to the bottom, I think. I think the 12k, and then if altcoins were to be tagged onto that, so if altcoins were rinsed at a higher rate than Bitcoin is, then that is where we're probably going to be seeing the big bottoming event, where we are going to be seeing the big buying event. I would be quite happy for this to come early. And then the likelihood is that over the recession, we just have a slow and steady growth. Who knows? You know, it may be worth going 80% all in. If we have a fast dump, market crashes, and we get down to 14 to 12k a lot sooner than a month, then the likelihood is that we're going to be able to have our pick. And then the other 20% maybe that's left over from our fiat, we can save for should we flash crash down. You know, to maybe under 10k or under. So the most popularized view is 12k. The evidence seems to support that. And of course, 12k would fit in quite nicely with liquidating Celsius, which would cause enormous cascading pain to the people that have had their funds frozen. But it just goes to show, don't trust centralization in cryptocurrency. You know, what you want in cryptocurrency is you want decentralization. You want no one being able to do anything about what you have. You don't want, and this is why I was never really into a lot of the DeFi out there, because I either found it untrustworthy or I felt like there would be problems down the line. And lo and behold, it's happened. So I've been happy, not actually been accruing interest on my current cryptocurrencies and just leaving them alone. And I think this will be a big lesson, you know? And I think it will probably cause for crypto regulation to come even more so. And therefore, more bearish. Who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of factors, I think, at the moment that could bring the price down. But whatever the case, people, this is a buyer's market. This is buying haven, you know, and I plan to make the most of it. There certainly seems to be a lot of people have said, oh, we should have bought in the 20k, bought in the 19k. No. Right, there was a lot more bearishness and catastrophe to be unlocked, and I think there still is. So, love you, and I will see you of the next time. It is lights out, all out. Breakout. Da, 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 da.